This is what's wrong with digital cameras. They don't smell of anything. You know, and there was a lovely smell of the leather and the wood of this camera, and it's all part of the pleasure. It's another experience that comes into it. You're working with things that have been crafted by somebody, and there's something lovely about a properly engineered piece of equipment that will work the way you want it to work. There's nothing to go wrong with it. Well, in theory. My name's Andrew Sanderson. I'm a photographer. I work predominantly in film and I'm a darkroom worker. I'm a designated Ilford master printer. I never imagined that what I did would be upended so dramatically. Everything was done on film and now everything's done on digital. I can't imagine a bigger change. It's completely turned on its head. Now I make things difficult for myself with the equipment that I work with. I use old equipment, I use homemade equipment, I use lenses off photocopiers, I use X-ray film, all sorts of weird stuff. At the end of it, there's a different result. I think there's a better result, and there's certainly a much greater sense of satisfaction. Now I think with digital, the sense of satisfaction isn't quite there, because everything that has happened has come about because of the work of some genius in Silicon Valley, not because of what you've done. Digital photography is like a helicopter ride to the top of Everest. Yeah, you got there and you're all waving to your friends and going, look, I'm on Everest, but you didn't get there through your own efforts. Now, why do people climb Everest now if they can get up there by some other means? You do it because they want that satisfaction of overcoming the obstacles and saying, I did this. Take a reading, centre the needle. I see 50 images a day. You know, I see images when I'm driving the car, when I'm on a train, when I'm in the supermarket, stuff I can't take. I can be walking down the street and I'll just glance sideways and a little switch just clicks in my head. There was a shot there and I have to mentally draw a box around it and think of it. Is that a vertical composition? Is it a horizontal composition? Is it a square? Is it worth a shot? I walked into this building yesterday and as I walked up the stairs, I saw a possible picture. Now I've walked into this place a million times and I've never seen that before, the way that I saw it. I'd come from home with the 5.4 camera and the lens on it is one that I'd cobbled together from some bits of magnifying glass and some cardboard tube. And I was carrying a 5.4 on a tripod and I just thought, I'm just going to do it now, I'm going to set it up. And I did the shot and I came up here and I processed it straight away and I had something I was really, really pleased with. Other days, it can be a bloody disaster. I think that digital photography is an amazing thing, but it makes people lazy. Film photography imposes a discipline. You can now walk into a shop, buy a digital camera and take it out of the box as you walk out of the shop, point at the camera, take a picture and it works perfectly straight away. So anybody can call themselves a photographer. Now you're just flooded with images every day and a lot of them are average at best. Nothing special anymore. So one of the best bits of advice I had very early on in the beginnings of my photography, somebody said to me, always have the finished print in mind before you even press the shutter. I like the decay of the building, I like the light on the side, I like the silver birches just catching the light and the printing process that I've got in mind for it, which will give me some nice solid blacks. I think we should have a nice image out of this. You're constantly refining what's out there, all the visual stimuli, choose what to shoot it on, you're refining it when you choose your angle of view, your exposure and everything, and it's a process where you're gradually distilling the essence of something. When you have that image, you then have to try and put that across in a print in a way that absolutely gets the essence of what you saw, deciding which parts of the image to subdue and which parts of the image to emphasize. Darkrooms are in danger of disappearing because people convince themselves they haven't got the space. That's my worry, that not enough people are doing darkroom work, and there will come a point when it's not commercially viable for manufacturers to keep producing chemicals and paper for that vanishing market. And once it goes, that'll be a massive loss. It'd be a shame. So the sheet film is now in the stock bath. The modern tendency for people to submit work to print exhibitions as digital prints, rather than in the past it was all darkroom prints. And the funny thing about it is that people will submit a print for a show and say this is my best print, but they won't include postage for it to be returned. In one single gesture. They're saying, this is my best work and I don't care about it. I don't care what you do with it. I don't care if you throw it in the bin or nail it to the wall or anything, because it's instantly reproducible at home on the same printer with the same settings. And I think that's what is lost with digital photography. Because it's repeatable, it takes away the special quality of it. Even in the mid-80s, if I went to an exhibition and saw some good work on the wall, you would go, wow, that's someone who's really worked at their craft. That's someone who spent years and years learning how to do things properly and observing and thinking and improving. But these days you go to an exhibition and you see some big colour prints and you just think, well, that person's got more money than me. I'm just not talent anymore. I think that's where film photography sorts the men from the boys. It's not just the equipment, it's how you use it, it's how you put it into practice. You've got to be emotionally involved in what you do. That's the same thing with music, and it's the same thing with acting, and it's the same thing with painting. But you wouldn't buy a piano and call yourself a pianist. I can press the keys on a piano and it works. I'm not playing something that people would want to listen to. It needs application, it needs thought, it needs talent, it needs time. A lot of time, a hell of a lot of time. You've got to be patient.